Before we dive into our story, if you love interesting and immersive stories like this, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and like this video. Your support helps us keep creating amazing content. Now, fasten your seatbelts because we're heading to Mars for a wild adventure. Let's get started. Year 2178. Humanity had long expanded beyond Earth, with colonies on the Moon and Mars thriving. Mars had been terraformed, its atmosphere enriched with oxygen, and the red planet had transformed into a luxurious tourism hub. However, despite all technological advancements, one thing never changed: people like Karen. When Karen won a free vacation to Mars, she believed it would be the best trip of her life. But Karen and Mars were not exactly a perfect match. And soon, everyone realized that chaos had just landed on the red planet. Karen's arrival on Mars was already dramatic. Flying in on a VIP capsule from Mars Space Airways, she was furious about having to wait a few seconds at the spaceport. Mars Resort's robotic assistants were greeting guests, providing them with holographic panels displaying information about the hotel. But for Karen, none of this was enough. A VIP guest should never have to wait. I never get treated like this on Earth. Upon reaching Mars Resort, she immediately started complaining about everything. The gravity is too weak. Even the moon doesn't have this problem. Why can't you make this place feel like Earth? When Mars Resort's robot valets tried to carry her luggage, Karen snapped, "Don't touch my bags. I'll carry them myself. Where's the service here? Is this a 5-star resort or a mining colony?" The hotel lobby, with its high glass dome ceiling, offered a breathtaking panoramic view of Mars' rugged landscapes. The gravity balancing panels ensured that guests felt just like they would on Earth. But for Karen, everything was a problem. She approached the reception desk, its surface illuminated with a transparent LED interface. As she prepared to unleash another complaint, her eyes locked onto something unacceptable. A plant was slightly tilted by 1 centimeter. Karen's eyes narrowed, and she took a deep breath. "What kind of disaster is this?" she shouted. "Is this a luxury hotel or a botanical garden?" Eventually, the receptionist adjusted the plant, and Karen was directed to her suite. But this was only the beginning. The pool incident. Karen had heard that Mars Resort's pool was the most exclusive on the planet. The glass-domed structure provided an otherworldly experience, where the gravity modulation system made swimming feel like floating in space. But, for Karen, everything was a problem. "What? Other people are swimming here? I deserve a private pool." The attendant explained, "Ma'am, this is a shared facility." Karen immediately exploded. "I'm a VIP GUEST. Clear the pool immediately." Just then, a minor gravity fluctuation occurred, and Karen accidentally tumbled into the pool. As she emerged dripping wet, guests burst into laughter. Within minutes, the incident went viral on Mars social media. Fuming, Karen stormed off, determined to rent a Mars rover for an exclusive tour of the planet. Rover disaster. Karen arrived at Mars' premier rover rental agency, eager for a private exploration tour. But as soon as she saw the vehicles, she narrowed her eyes in disgust. "These are too small. As a VIP guest, I want the largest and most luxurious model." The agent politely explained, "Ma'am, luxury models come with professional drivers and are all fully booked at the moment." Karen's face turned red with rage. "I don't need a driver. I want to drive it myself." However, on Mars, operating a rover required a special license. When the agent explained this, Karen completely lost it. "This is ridiculous. I've been driving for years. How hard can it be to drive a rover?" The agent calmly responded, "Ma'am, the low-gravity terrain and Martian atmospheric conditions make rover driving highly specialized." Karen ignored all logic and continued her tantrum until security was called. Her rover request was denied, and she was escorted back to the resort. Fuming, she decided to drown her sorrows in food at Mars Bites, the resort's famous restaurant. Burger crisis and final confrontation. Karen strutted into Mars Bites, the most renowned eatery on the planet. She called over Jake, the waiter, a young man with a calm demeanor, who just happened to be the resort owner's son. Karen narrowed her eyes as she gave a list of impossibly specific demands. The bun must be crispy in the middle, but soft on the edges. The cheese must be perfectly centered, at least 5 millimeters in symmetry. The lettuce should not be at the bottom, but on top of the cheese. And my drink must have exactly 10 ice cubes. Jake politely nodded and processed her order. Minutes later, her burger arrived. She studied it like a forensic scientist. And then she screamed, "This is a disaster. The cheese is 1 millimeter off center." Jake offered to replace it, but Karen dramatically threw her napkin onto the table. Just then, the restaurant doors swung open, and in walked none other than Bay Henderson, the resort's CEO. Karen froze. "Mr. Henderson, what an honor to see you," she stammered. Henderson crossed his arms. "Karen, I remember you. Even back on Earth, you were notorious for making everyone's life difficult." Karen laughed nervously. "Oh, sir, you must be mistaken. I just want good service." Jake turned to his father and said, "Dad, if anyone should be removed, it's not me." Henderson nodded. "You're right, son." Jake then spoke calmly but firmly. "Dad, I believe everyone deserves a second chance. Mars is a unique environment, and adjusting can be hard. I'm willing to forgive Karen's rude behavior." Henderson thought for a moment and then turned to Karen. "All right, Karen, you get one last chance." For the first time, Karen hesitated. She looked down and muttered, I suppose I should apologize." And for the first time in her life, she actually thanked someone. Do you think Bay Henderson and his son were right to forgive Karen? Or should she have faced a bigger consequence? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next story. Until then, take care. Blast off.